This is IUPTV News, broadcast from Davis Hall. We will bring you our weekly news bulletin. I'm Brandon Uholic.
And I'm Taylor Jones. Today we will bring you stories related to IUP and the Indiana community. We will begin with local news. From today through Saturday, the Indiana Free Library welcomes teens to come and create with available technology, such as computers with digital photo editing and audio editing software, research databases, and various digital education resources. Similar activities are being held across libraries in the country to celebrate Teen Tech Week. This year's theme, Libraries Are for Creating, encourages students to learn, explore, create, and content.
Now the national news. The West Virginia teachers' strike may finally be coming to an end. On the 9th day, Governor Jim Justice announced that a deal has been made between both the House and the Senate. The deal will deliver a 5% pay raise to not just the teachers, but all state employees. 250,000 students have been out of school since February the 22nd. State legislatures hope the teachers' union will accept this deal so students can hit the desks once again.
If you happen to be in Pasadena, you might see Flippy, a fast food robot that serves a Cali burger or Southern California style burger. The robot is reportedly capable of grilling 150 burgers per hour. The burger company claims Flippy will not take over human workers as it needs human commands.
If iMessage or GroupMe are popular here, in China, a software called WeChat has become even more popular for its integrated use in communication, as well as shopping and playing games. The software has hit 1 billion users this week, just a little after Facebook-owned app WhatsApp hit 1 billion users as well. WeChat attracts a large audience, especially among those who live in China.
It's hard to explain. It just became home. There are hundreds of majors and programs, bachelor's degrees to PhDs, small classes and faculty that really get to know you. Amazing internships and everywhere programs that help to find a job that is right for you. It's what IUP is about, a commitment to your success. See it for yourself. Visit us, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
To celebrate International Women's Day on March 8th, we will run 2 stories related to women's friendship and achievement. The first story will be on the experiences of 2 wonderful women who are both IUP students on how they adapt to local culture and accomplish their goals. Rachel has her story.
Since 1914, every year on March 8th, many people around the world celebrate International Women's Day. All over the globe, women are recognized for their achievements and unique culture that have portrayed in the media, and some of them come from different parts of the world. At IUP, we have a number of women here that originate in another country. Meet Katrina Kudla, a sophomore at IUP who moved here from Poland when she was just 5 years old. After she moved here, she found some challenges in making friends.
Well, the challenges I faced, I moved to America when I was 5 years old, and so I was just immediately, only speaking Polish, I immediately was put into a kindergarten classroom filled with children who, read English and could count, and I was nowhere near that level. And it was so difficult because I was put in, well, they didn't put me in a language, learning English program. Instead I was put in special ed. So I was put in special ed for until 5th grade, and now in college I like to think that I'm completely normal. Now I have so many friends and I no longer feel like such an outcast, and it's you can't even tell at all how much I struggled in elementary school, considering I was in special ed for 5 years. Now I'm a nursing major.
Unlike Katrina, Riza, a graduate student in English from Indonesia, didn't find difficulties because she came here as an adult. Meeting and talking to these 2 women made me realize that some people are unaware of the encounters many international women go through.
To be honest, being an international woman, I have some challenges, especially I have to negotiate with my various aspects of my identities, both as an international student and as a woman, as a mother of 2. In terms of academic challenges, at first I got a lot of difficulties coping with the assignments here in my school. Back home, I didn't read and write a lot, and the other challenge is more personal challenge. my role or my identity as a mother and a mother of two, as a wife, and I have to move out to a different country, leave my family back home. That is very tough for me, especially at first.
International Women's Day shouldn't be something that we're somewhat familiar with, but something we all should celebrate. This year's theme for the special day is #PressForProgress, a strong call to motivate and unite one another to think, act, and be gender inclusive. Make International Women's Day something to celebrate, no matter where you are, and do what you can to make a positive change for the women around us. I'm Rachel Laskowski, reporting for IUP News.
On Wednesday of last week, Women in Gender Studies celebrated the achievement of 3 female faculty members through a book launch. Their books cover a range of different subjects, ranging from culture, politics, and feminism to education and many others. Our reporter, Peyton Marcajon, attended the event, and here is her story.
Being a professor requires dedication not only in teaching, but also publishing. This past week, the Women in Gender Studies celebrated the achievement of 3 female professors in publishing their books. Dr. Melanie Holm with her book titled Mockingbird Technologies, Dr. Gloria Park with the book Where Privilege Meets Marginalization, East Asian Women Teachers of English, and Dr. Michelle Sandoff on experiences of Muslims serving in the U.S. military post 9/11. Each book has its uniqueness in the content as well as its connection to the readers.
So the book Mockingbird Technologies is it's an anthology of essays that comes from a conference that was in Toronto in 2013. It was the American Comparative Literature Association conference, and the process of this was a lot of discussion with colleagues, a lot of individual ideas germinating together, and then my co-director, Chris, he and I decided we should make it into a book. And so the process was, for me personally, a very long thought out process about thinking in very complex ways about how representation changes in different geopolitical positions.
Complexity of a selected topic seems to be what motivates Dr. Gloria Park as well. Dr. Park is also a program director for composition and applied linguistics in IUP. Especially looking at her heritage, her experiences influence her interest in her book.
I think that my book has a very in-depth understanding of how issues of privilege that we all experience, whether we're from East Asian or African or other countries, that the issues of privilege is intimately connected to how we experience different marginalized issues. So it's really about, not that I have a lot of privilege and a lot of marginalization, but how those two constructs coexist in the lives of women who happen to teach English as a second or additional language. And that's really the big part of my book.
The process of writing and completing the book is very challenging, from getting an idea, collecting information, to publishing the book.
So the process of doing the research for the book was actually quite challenging. So I came up with this idea. I realized I wanted to research Muslims in the United States. And I had this idea. I was going to a meeting with my advisor to tell him that this was my new idea. And I got off the bus and saw the newspaper headline because that was the day of the Fort Hood shooting. And that obviously had a big impact on both why I thought this research was really important, but it also made it or added to the difficulty of finding respondents because there was a lot of negative coverage going on about Muslims, particularly in the military, at the same time that I was trying to start this project. So I used word of mouth, I did flyers, I sent out emails, I sort of worked all of my personal networks and got all of my friends and colleagues to work their personal networks to find people who'd be willing to talk to me. And ultimately I got 15 people who are willing to sit down, take an hour or two of their time and share their story with me, which I really appreciate. I was actually stuck at 14 for a really long time and was doing an academic presentation about the research I'd done up to that point, and had a member of the audience raise their hand and say, actually, yeah, I got your email, but I had no idea who you were, so I wasn't going to participate. But now that I've seen you, now that I've heard what you're doing with this data, let's sit down and do an interview. And so my 15th interview was actually spur of the moment in a side room at a conference after someone heard me talk about the research and knew that I wasn't trying to distort anything or tell a negative story.
Despite different contents and processes that they went through, each author wished similar things from the readers who read their books.
It's our hope that readers who read our book will come away with a lot of questions rather than answers. The book is meant to be a provocation about how criticism is disseminated and to demystify the authoritative tone of the critic and instead create sort of a playful space for the reader to think through different ideas that aren't necessarily cohesive but that are problematic.
Dr. Botello, the director of Women and Gender Studies, who is also a distinguished university professor, described the effort to support faculties to be active in publication.
In order to motivate this group of faculty, you don't have to do much at all. They are an exceptional group of people already and in their own right.
These women, while in different fields of study, have all achieved something great in publishing books that they hope will have a positive impact on the field of women and gender studies. It is only appropriate that this happens so close to International Women's Day. Reporting for IUPTV, I'm Peyton Markajon.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
So spring break is next week. Any interesting plans?
Nothing too crazy. I'd like to go to Miami or something, but I'm just going to relax in Pittsburgh for a week and visit some family, but I'm looking forward to it. Do you have anything planned?
Not too crazy. I'm just ready to see my family and rest all week.
Right.
But I think we're not the only ones who are excited with the spring break. Haley Setlock went around campus to find out people's plans for spring break.
Welcome back to Hawk on the Block. Today, I ask students about their spring break plans.
I don't really have that many spring break plans. I only plan on going home and making the dough and going to work. That's about it. No, I'm actually not excited because I'd rather be going on vacation or staying here, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, actually I do. I'm gonna go film a movie this week, during next week. Cool. So yeah, little indie project that a couple of friends of mine are doing. So gonna go do some training for it, and yeah, because it's a martial arts film. So I'm basically making a movie about martial arts, and I'm gonna be spending spring break training for it.
Yeah, we're gonna take my roommate who lives here, and we're gonna bring her home with us to the Poconos and kind of show her where we grew up and where we went to high school.
You excited about it?
I'm very excited about it.
Cool.
No, not really. I'm gonna do my best to not think about this place while I'm gone. That's about it.
There you go.
I guess so, Don't have anything special to do, but it'd be nice to get a break, so.
Cool.
Looking forward to it.
No, I'm just gonna stay at home, play with my chinchilla named Todd. Flat, fluffy thing. Nothing too exciting. Netflix, chill.
Just go home, see my mom, see my wonderful niece and nephew, and then get to be with my brothers and stuff. I ain't doing nothing crazy. Yeah, you feel me? Being 5 hours away, I don't really get to go home like everybody else in Pittsburgh and stuff like that. So, I feel good to leave out this joint.
I'm gonna hang out with my dog. Yeah, really nothing else. Oh wait, I do have something. I have an interview for a possible internship. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I have that.
That's exciting.
I'm very excited.
Reporting for IUPTV News, I'm Haley Sedlock.
Coming up, Peyton Markajon will bring you sport and health stories. Stay tuned.
I fell in love with the campus, with the people, with my IUP life. See it for yourself. Visit us. Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
The IUP women's lacrosse team remains ranked in the top 20 of both National Division II polls. The Crimson Hawks are number 18 in the Intercollegiate Women's Lacrosse Coaches Association poll and number 15 in the Nike US Lacrosse ranking. Remaining in this position is likely due in part to the 2 wins they earned last week, one at Alderson Broaddus and the other against Wilmington. The next women's lacrosse game is scheduled on Thursday, March 15th at Catawba in Salisbury, North Carolina.
Receiving a Jefferson Award for public service was an honor I will always cherish. I've known since I was very young that I wanted to help make a difference, but I didn't create an organization to win an award. I did it because as a teacher, I believe all kids deserve a good start and a shot at high achievement. I'm April King, a graduate of Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Get my story at iup.edu.
The events in Parkland last month affected people around the world, including professional athletes. NBA Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo said in an interview with CNN that watching the shooting was very painful for him. After hearing the reports saying the gunman suffered from mental illness, Mutombo, along with other NBA All-Stars, agreed that something had to be done. These athletes went to the Total Health Forum in Atlanta to discuss ways to communicate to the public and lift the stigma of mental illness. Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum said that since athletes tend to be role models, particularly for young people, that they have a real opportunity to make a difference in fighting this stigma.
You! Oh! Your fault. You! My fault? Your fault. Your fault. You're right. What? It's my fault. What do you mean your fault? Just the two of us. You're right, it's my fault. We can make it. Maybe both of us? Maybe just you.
If you have no plans this coming week, perhaps you should include visiting the University Museum. The current exhibition involves paintings made by famous painters who grew up in Western Pennsylvania. The event will be open until March 10th.
If you are international students and interested in introducing your culture to the Indiana community, the Office of International Education is still waiting for your participation in its annual International Unity Day on April 7th, 2018. Applications are available on its website.
Next week, we will report on stories related to IUP students and the community working together to make the town a better place for everyone.
On behalf of IUPTV News, we wish you a happy spring break. Please stay tuned. We'll see you next week.